Hey guys, welcome back to another stream. So today is going to be a really good one. We're with a few really cool YouTubers that I really enjoy watching their videos, and we're going to have lots of fun. And I can already see one of those people has got a costume. So without any further ado, let's welcome them onto the stage. So first up, we have Fish Room Fever.
Hello, everybody. I appreciate you having me on. Always fun talking to you.
Yeah, it's great fun. Yeah, nice glasses.
Thank you very much.
I feel like I should probably put mine on too. Make it worth a while. There we go. And not as crazy as yours, but I still do.
There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we have two more people. Next up is Jack and Dan. Let's welcome them on.
What's up, guys? What's going on, James? What's going on, Lazarus?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Nothing much. About to go live. No, we are live. Sorry. Yeah, I can't see with these glasses, so yeah, I'm off. So, before we get started, let's just say hello to all those who are already in the chat. We've got Mridal Singh. How's it going? William Pridemore, welcome to the channel. I saw you just recently subscribed. This should be fun today. Pet Sartix, multiple aquariums. How's it going? Chattanooga Ed. Hey Ed, how are you? Cooper Aquatics, seen you on some streams. What's up? Select Pet, sup fishy folks? Sup to you? Lefty3213A, I just watched his stream. It was brilliant and fun with Ed. He said, howdy y'all. How are you going, Lefty? We also have Casey Gaska. How you going? Candy Overhauls, how are you? And Jack and Dan, they're right here, as well as in the chat. Nice to know. And then we have Fisher and Fever. So, and Fish's Aquatic World. How are you all going? We've got quite a house today. 13 people, pretty good to start off with. So without any further ado though, let's get into the live stream. So what have you guys been up to lately, fish-wise?
Jack and Dan, you gentlemen want to take it first?
Yeah, so
sure, man. What do we do lately around here?
We've been doing water changes, of course. Lots of stuff. We're working on a new project. Yeah, fish tank that I'm not going to spoil, but we're going to. It's gonna be funny. Let's just put it that way.
It's gonna be neat.
Funny.
It's gonna be different. Yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna be different than the ones we have done before, and I'm really excited about it.
That's great. Yeah, can't wait to see that.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're working on. It's kind of like a princess tank that we've been talking about for a long time, but we had to move the rack that the male beta was on. We moved out of a room into a bedroom, and that was like a whole production. We had to go through all that and then figure that out. Then we decided to start the tank. So our plan ultimately is to make what we're calling a princess tank. A lot of people call it a sorority tank. And we're going to have female betas on the same rack that the male beta is on, and then try to breed them. But we always try to do fun stuff. So we're making it like a Oasis princess theme.
Yeah, like a beach kind of thing.
Nice.
So it's going to be like, and we talked a little bit about this morning on Father Fish. We used kind of some ideas from a guy named Boris Antonovich. He's got a great channel. If you've never heard of him, BR Antov. He's from Ukraine.
Yeah, he does a lot of cool stuff too.
And he does some pretty secretive water effects. Some of them he won't talk about because he doesn't want to give away secrets. But I got him to finally divulge to me that he used some parts of like detergent containers and things like that to make them look like pools or rivers.
Yeah, because they had a certain pattern on them.
Like the dark blue kind of opaque plastic. So anyway, we kind of took that idea. So you'll see that's one that we have coming up. But we're always doing something around here. In fact, tomorrow we're going to Ohio Fish Rescue.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw their latest update. They rescued just dozens and dozens of parrotfish.
Yeah, we're gonna get some because, as you can see, we have a bunch of parrotfish in the big tank. So we're excited to get some more because they're schooling fish. So I'm excited to see what they look like.
Yeah, we've got 4 big ones in here, and we've been wanting to add some more, and it's hard to find other ones that are big like this. So they had this big, huge rescue where somebody had a bunch of them, and so I texted Big Rich right away, and I'm like, dude, we want to come and get some of those, and he's like, be here tomorrow, man. So we're going tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been up to. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I have to check out that channel. What's it called again?
Ohio Fish Rescue.
Oh yes, yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
It's a big, huge rescue that they started about 3 years ago. Well, they did it years ago, but they started on YouTube about 2 to 3 years ago. And we kind of connected with them just because we live in the same general area, and also just kind of grew up in the same kind of area and had some common friends and stuff. And
I think you said you knew Big Rich from like the band.
yeah, I used to play in a band and stuff, and I kind of recognized Big Rich because he played in some similar type of bands. And they're kind of like a father-son channel, and we're a father-son channel, and it's just kind of worked out. So we've done a lot of videos there.
We don't live too far from them, so.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. Great place to hang out. And if you guys ever come to Cleveland, you got to check out OFR for sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Planning on coming to Cleveland at all, lad?
Not that I know of. I definitely will at some point though, but yeah, we can only travel in Victoria at the moment here in Australia. We only just were able to, the 25-kilometer range just stopped a few weeks ago. So now we can finally travel more than 25 kilometers from our house, which
Cool.
is great. Wait, before we continue, it seems Daniken Aquatics is backstage, but I can't see him anywhere. Just a note to Daniken Aquatics, just try re-click the
Just freezing.
oh, I gave them the wrong link. I've got to go for a sec and send it to them.
Absolutely. I'll do my what I've been up to update like you asked while you're doing that, and we'll cover the airspace. Basically, and a lot of you know this, I've got several empty tanks right now just in the house. I've got a 220, a 55, a 75, and 229s in the living room sitting empty. Several of those need resealed, so I'm working on that. A couple dozen more tanks outside that I need to get racks built for. And then amongst all of that, I decided that I was going to redo one of the racks of 16 10-gallon tanks. They've got hair algae in them, which I intentionally put in there, and at the time I didn't care, but I need more space to grow givable plants, like for giveaways and sellable plants. So I've decided I'm going to redo all of those tanks, get all the hair algae out, and get them set up to be able to grow some plants that will be free of hair algae and all that stuff. So that's what I'm in the middle of right now. I've got a 10-gallon that's empty that as soon as we get done here, I'm going to go fill it up and move fish back into it. And then just the usual water changes and fishy fun stuff. And got to get videos out. I need to do another video. The rack that I'm redoing was the one that I showed in the last video that I put out. But
what are you gonna do for Thanksgiving?
Probably not much of anything. Have dinner here at the house and then live stream. So we'll have the weekly scheduled live stream that day, or that night rather. And then we're just going to do Thanksgiving here at the house with the missus and the kids.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we're not.
We're gonna go over Grandma's house, and we're gonna have lunch for a little bit, and then.
Yes.
Well, we're going the day before. See, the day before Thanksgiving is my birthday,
yeah.
so we usually celebrate on Thanksgiving when everybody's there anyway.
Right.
This year
But because of everything going on, a lot of the people that are in our family, like me, are healthcare workers.
Right.
So my mother, Jack's grandmother, and his great-grandmother, they've been in some videos and stuff. His great-grandmother's 100, his grandmother's 75, and so we're kind of they don't want these get-togethers, and they're probably very smart because we all are exposed on a daily basis, a lot of us. So, and Jack's kind of back at school half days. They just sent an email out. He's going to go back full time after Christmas as long as everything continues.
And you can get it from many churches. You always just gotta be careful. But yeah, so we're gonna do that.
So we're just going to go the two of us and celebrate just with the two of them, kind of like my birthday. And then for Thanksgiving, Jack's sister lives in North Carolina. She's coming to visit.
Yeah, she's coming over, and then we're gonna go over our aunt's house. And my Uncle Pete usually makes one fried turkey, one baked turkey, and I think one roasted. I usually have a little bit because it's Thanksgiving. Come on, but we're gonna do that, so it's gonna be fun.
Awesome. Now I can just barely hear Jack because the mic's over towards Dan.
Oh yeah.
But I just figured I mentioned before the chat does.
He talks really quiet.
Yeah, Cooper Aquatics asked for both of us, what's the biggest fish you're keeping right now? The biggest fish, if you're looking at, top to bottom and all that, is probably the green terror that I have. In terms of length, it would be one of my ornate bichers. They're a lot longer, but of course they're, only that big around. And then the biggest one that I will have would be one of my dadnoids. They're still babies, but they'll be the biggest ones that I have, probably.
Hey, James. Hey, Jack and Dan. How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, dude?
Hi.
So the biggest fish that we have now is kind of be a toss-up because lengthwise, it probably would be one of the rope fishes because one of the rope fish is actually quite long.
Or probably our biggest fish, like fish-wise, probably be one of the plecos.
Yeah,
one
the
of
pleco. We got that big sailfin in here.
The
She's
female
gigantic.
or the parrotfish.
But the parrots, man, they got the girth on everybody. They're girthy. Look at this big boy. What's up, guys? They love coming up to the front. They're photo bombers, man. And so we're gonna end up going to OFR tomorrow and most likely getting maybe 3 more of these guys if they got some nice big size ones. So they rescued a whole bunch of them apparently, and they can't even a lot of times people can't take those or they don't want them.
They get pretty big. They're just like giant goldfish, essentially.
Kinda. They're funny. But we love them in there, and they grew up with our turtle, and she gets along with them great.
Yeah, she's not. We tried to feed her crayfish because we thought she would eat it, but she grew up around a bunch of fish, so she didn't think anything of it.
Really?
Yeah, we had 2 of them. They weren't even bothering her either. She just kind of sat in there with them.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions about that because we have turtles and fish together in multiple tanks. We get a lot of questions about the turtles. And if you raise them together, if you put baby turtles with fish that are 4 times their size, I mean, obviously they're not going to eat them. That's part of it is just size. The other thing is, of course, feed them, make sure they're fed well.
Yeah.
And once they get used to each other, she wouldn't, sometimes I forget to put food in here or I'm busy for a few days. I don't feed this tank for a couple days. They don't care. There's plenty of,
She wouldn't eat them because they're her friends.
Yeah.
She would start eating the gravel before
we
she ate
actually
them.
did an experiment one time where we took a crayfish. Remember that?
Yeah.
We took a tank. We took a 20-gallon tank and we put a crayfish in there with
her.
That's
what I was saying. Yeah.
We didn't feed her for 3 days. And we put a crayfish in there because that's their most natural source of food. And she's such a princess. It crawled all over her and she wasn't interested at all.
Yeah, she just kind of
she's so incredibly
sat with them.
Just conditioned, she
didn't care.
Yeah, we even put night crawlers in there and she won't even eat a live worm. That's how much of a sissy she is.
Huh.
But most of our turtles are that way because we just raise them with fish together and they just, and we take good care of them and feed them and they never, and a lot of people just don't understand that. But if you do it that way, you'll be fine,
Mm. Yeah.
I recently acquired 2 turtles, not picked them up, but a friend that she's going through some things and just doesn't have time for them anymore. And they're about like that. They're 2 sliders. And the same thing with those. When I went to pick them up, she didn't mention any fish, but I got there and she had a a large pleco in with them, and then she had a group of endlers that she had actually put in there for them to eat, and they wouldn't even touch them. She said she kept having to get rid of hundreds of babies because the turtles wouldn't eat them.
Yeah, certain things they'll be attracted to. Like if you put some coolie loaches in here or some weather loaches or something that really squiggle, they might change it or chase it. But
they won't like. They'll just like be annoying to it. They're just like they won't like eat it.
You know, if you take. I'm sure if I threw her in a pond and she had to live on her own after a few days, she'd figure it out. But you know, they just when you raise them from babies like that together, even those soft-shelled ones, I mean, they can be super huge and aggressive.
Yeah, they can be kind of wicked. They can act pretty. Remember we went to the bridge in Florida and we fed them that. They were like.
Yeah, we did a video in
And
Florida
they
of those guys full grown. They were as big as like basketballs and like manhole covers, and they were amazing. And we threw in like these peanut butter.
They're fast too, because they're not like they're
so fast.
They're very like webbed. Like
they're huge. They're like Loch Ness monsters.
Yeah,
and
they're aerodynamic, more aerodynamic than some of the other like
the
hard shell turtles.
Yeah, they're so fast. But the guys, like we've had baby plecos in Jack's soft shell turtle tank 3 times, and they're crawling all over them, and they don't even think anything of them.
Yeah,
you know, they wouldn't even try to eat them.
Yeah, the ones I kept in the Midwest, man, if I put them in a tank with fish, they'd be done. The fish would be done.
Yeah.
But
you know, when you raise them together, and stuff, it's different. And when they're born into that, they don't really know any difference. I mean, eventually, you know, instinct's going to kick in like anything, but they're really not that hard to keep together. A lot of people think it's hard, but they're really not. And it depends on the disposition too. Like the turtle in this tank, Ice Digi, she doesn't get along with any other turtles. She hates other turtles.
Yeah, she doesn't.
We've tried to put turtles with her several times. Even the turtles that she grew up with.
She won't like hurt them, but she'll be annoying. She'll like
pushes them
knock them off the
raft.
The bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a couple of videos on that from when they were younger, and then we ended up just giving all those turtles away to other people because she just bullied them no matter who they were. It was hilarious.
How you doing, Ed?
I'm great. I'm enjoying listening about the turtles, though. Do you have a hard time keeping the water clean with them, or how do you keep your filtration?
No. Part of that is don't have too many in a tank. Like this is a 220, and there's just the one girl's in here, you know. And this is her tank. This is what we built the aqua cave thing. So she has this cave that she can go in, and you know. But we also let her run around the house and around in the yard and whatever else. It just depends on the dog because the dog hates her guts.
Oh.
So the dog will try to eat her no matter what. So we have to keep them separate.
Yeah, he's like, so he asked me, he's like, why don't we try to introduce Ice Digi to Lacey? And I'm like, okay. And then she was like barking at it, and then she was like,
she just goes crazy.
She's like snipping at it, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she's eaten a couple of fish. She's eaten a couple of fish around here. One time, so we have the electric blue cichlids in here, and this one behind us too. One time we opened it to feed them. And one of them launched out, landed on the floor. She grabbed it and ate it in a matter of seconds. We didn't even know what happened. She eats everything. There's nothing she will not eat.
Well, it was a quick death. Let's just say that.
She tried to eat a couple of times. The ropefish got out in the beginning. You know, when we first started this tank, we had a couple openings at the top, and the ropefish would come out, and they just come down to the ground and start crawling around like snakes. If you've never seen ropefish out of water.
they use like the slither as an advantage.
Yeah, well, she would see them and she would freak out, like, "Hey, there's a snake in the house."
And yeah, we put them back in. They don't like being on the ground, you know. So we put them back in.
Just pick them up, put them back in, and they're fine. But she tried to eat a couple of those guys. I mean, if you guys have ever seen our channel, we have a whole playlist on Lacey. She's a little maniac.
Yeah, ropefish are like the #1 fish to like try to get out of a tank. You know, they're just like
the hardest fish to catch is probably a ropefish.
Yeah, because remember we were at the fish store. And she tried to get it out, and it jumped out.
Did you guys ever try to catch a ropefish?
Nope, I've never kept them yet. I want to. I've never kept them yet.
They're really hard to catch, man.
They're just like water snakes.
Really hard to catch, yeah. They're tough. We've had them for years and years and years. The ones in this tank are about 3 or 4 years old, and there's 6 of them, and a couple of them are getting really big. I've never been able to breed them. I know most people say that they have had a lot of trouble, but we would like to try to breed them. We're doing a bunch of different experiments with different caves and stuff in here. And if we could breed them, I think that would be really, really awesome, you know. But whatever. I mean,
You know,
it happens, it happens.
I heard that they don't reach sexual maturity until they're 15 years old. And I'm not joking. Haley from Oddball Aquatics has been trying to breed them for a while, and she did this huge presentation, and she was very disappointed when she found out that, because all of hers are like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, ours are a little older.
I didn't know they even got to live like 15 years. I mean, I mean, you know, if they're fine, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, we watch her channel a lot, and we go back and forth with questions and comments. Ours recently got skin flukes, and that was a new thing to us. We did a whole video on that, and actually, I was on Father Fish talking to him about that because he gave me some advice. We had never seen those before. I mean, quite honestly, in the 42 years or so that I've been doing this, I've only ever really had ick. We've had very little issues with parasites or anything like that at all. Must just have good water in Cleveland, I guess. And we all of a sudden started noticing these little white, kind of little hair, cilia looking things coming off in between their scales. We didn't notice it on any other fish, so we got a paracleanse. We put it in there. It worked instantly, absolutely quickly, but it killed some of the bamboo. So then we did a whole video about how we took some of the bamboo out and all that. That kind of stunk, but I knew that might happen, but I kind of figured the bamboo was tough enough to take it, but apparently it wasn't, so we lost a few pieces. That was kind of disappointing.
Well, I just want to say real quick, a huge congratulations, Jack and Dan. You all hit that 10,000 subscriber milestone not too long ago.
Oh, thanks, man.
Party popper there. Congrats, man. That's awesome. I know that's a huge goal that we're all striving for right now, so I'm glad y'all knocked that out of the park.
You know what? It happened kind of quick. It kind of is weird because we get through these. We do our videos weeks in advance, sometimes even months in advance. A lot of people don't know that. And it's just because we're so incredibly busy sometimes that we might have to go a period of time where we can't do any, maybe for weeks. So we like to kind of be ahead of the game.
Yeah, we try to just save stuff. Because, like when someone uploads something, it might be from like a week ago if it's from like an hour ago. But, we try to do that. That way, if we have something going on, like you said, where we can't, then we have footage.
Yeah, what happened, actually, Select Pet was mentioning ropefish are caught wild here. The ropefish that we actually got from RLFS were bred by someone. They have an amazing amount of breeders that they work with locally. However, we do think that we know where the skin flukes came from. We put this big, massive vase on top of Iastiges cave to try to breed the large sailfin plecos in. And it was it was a big flower vase that we had. We used it in another tank. And I thought it might be kind of neat. Let's put it on top of there. The big and then we did a whole series of videos. And it was really funny because the big female was going in there. The male was not interested. And you know who went in there was the tiny little bristlenose male who's really the tank boss. He is the freaking tank boss of this 220. And he's probably he's the second smallest guy in here next to the female. But he was going in there, chasing the big plecos out, chasing the ropefish out, chasing the turtle out. He is hilarious. He has the biggest attitude of any bristlenose pleco I've ever seen in my life. Probably because he's got the Napoleon complex because he's the small guy in the tank. So he's got to act like a hard ass. It's hilarious. So he chased everybody out. So then we put a second one in to see if the big ones would use that and the small ones would use that, and they did. But the female would not breed because it was so big. He couldn't corner her. So then we put some smaller caves in here. He finally left the big one. So the big ones are in there now. We don't know if they're going to breed. But anyway, we think that the fluke worms came from the flower vases because that was the only thing we put in there that was new. And then they started appearing about 2 weeks later. So we just, bombed the whole tank. And anytime we add we just didn't think that an old glass flower vase would have some parasites on it. You know what I mean? It was sitting around for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, to anyone who would want to try to prevent that, you can put it in front of a lizard lamp, or you can boil it. Boiling would probably actually
Yeah, we
be the
probably should have
best.
washed it. I think I just kind of dumped the flowers out, rinsed it off, and put it in the cupboard, and I forgot. And then when I took it out, some of these parasites and stuff, they can go into some crazy hibernation mode or whatever, And I guess that's what happened, because we hadn't added any fish. We didn't put any live food in. We didn't do anything different other than that. So it was a lesson learned, and we did a whole video on it. And again, we kind of reminded people, we're like, even if you take an old, maybe you took something out of a tank and it's sitting in your storage closet and you end up putting it back in your tank, make sure you wash it off, because you never know if it's got something on it. But anyway, thanks again, for the congratulations. The whole story is we do things ahead of time, and it kind of got away from us, and we're really, really thrilled. We started doing this almost 2 years ago. We started as a health and wellness channel, and part of health and wellness, of course, is having a fantastic hobby like fish keeping, which I've been doing since I was 5. I introduced Jack when he was born.
The reason why they always have fish tanks in nursing homes and restaurants is because it's relaxing. I think it's mostly relaxing because the fish, but especially I feel like the filter sound almost, because the noise it makes and everything, the whole sound of it all, and the graceful fish.
Yeah, I mean that's why we have them in our bedrooms. That's why a lot of people put aquariums in their bedrooms. When I started working as a nurse, I started a side business where I was putting aquariums in nursing homes and hospitals and places that I worked for that reason, and it was very fun doing that. And, basically just everybody I talk to, when I try to get them, people who have high blood pressure, people who are trying to quit smoking, people who are trying to, maybe they have anxiety, maybe they have stress, whatever. I say, hey, did you ever think about getting a fish tank? And a lot of times they're like, oh, I had one as a kid, but I got away from it. And I'm like, well, it's time to get back into it, man, because it's a great, fantastic hobby. It's really good for stress and anxiety, and it's really awesome to do with your family, do with your kids, do with your parents. It's an awesome family. I mean, all you guys who do it, almost all the YouTubers that we see and talk to and the fish tubers we've met, it's a family affair, It's fantastic.
So, Danikin, how are you doing?
Doing great. Doing awesome.
Well, you just recently had a bunch of fancy eggs there. Is that the tank you're sitting in front of?
No, that's over to my left. And unfortunately, I woke up this morning and all of them were eaten by the parrots.
Oh, that stinks.
I was half suspecting it might happen because it's their first brew. So,
yeah, those guys are gorgeous, though, man. Those guys are gorgeous.
Yeah, those are the Paratilapia bleaker eye. Real cool fish. They're out of Madagascar.
Super awesome fish.
I do have that one right there is the largest that I have. He's probably 9 inches. So,
yeah, they're awesome. So we were talking about the biggest fish. James said his. We said ours. What are your guys?
Largest by length, I would say, is my common pleco. He's about 24 inches long.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Then I've got some other ones in the big boy tank here. There's a clown leprechaunus in there. He's probably 18 inches now.
Yeah, those are neat. I always wanted to get one of those, but I was a little bit afraid of how big they get. They have one at the Ohio Fish Rescued. It's like 2 feet. He's gigantic.
Yeah, he's cruising right now. Right, that guy right there.
Oh, he's so pretty.
Yeah. Super cool.
Nice
And everybody, what do you got him in there with all those aggressive fish? Let me tell you, that fish holds his own in there, man. He does not take any guff from the cichlids. He is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
this tank behind me, I just set up over the weekend. I took all the Africans, transferred them to a 135 downstairs.
Oh,
and
wow.
I put a bunch of Severums and Geophagus savanning and the other Oscar that was getting destroyed by the other male. So I finally was able to get her back into a big tank. So that's why I did it more than anything. I was starting to feel bad for her. So I wanted to get her back up into a bigger tank. Don't know what I'm going to do with her old mate yet. But we'll figure that one out here soon. I'm going to get him into a bigger tank again too.
So, Ed, what's your biggest fish?
Well, I'm mostly a guppy guy, so I mean,
That's not true.
I've got a banded bisher that's probably about 11 inches long.
And Mr. Tinfoil.
Yeah, I've got a tinfoil barb that's maybe that big. Also, he's probably my heaviest. Is my tinfoil barb, but and then I've got a bunch of like threadfin acaras and geophagus. They're all like just hand size. But so I do have a few fish, but most of my tanks are they're all live bears. I've got some swordtails now that are almost 5.5 inches long, which are pretty neat. They have
what are they?
Big. Swordtails.
Oh, swordtails. Okay.
Yeah, they're just red swordtails, but somebody brought them into my local store, and it was a whole group of them, and I mean the girls were all gravid and everything, so I just bought them all.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty exciting. But yeah, unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because I love guppies. If you put all my guppies together, they would go around the room a couple times. I've got a lot of guppies.
What about you, Laz? What's your biggest?
Probably the electric yellow cichlid and then 90-liter community. Yeah, people say he's too aggressive to be with the fish he's in with, but I've kept him since it was very, very small, and it doesn't even bother the fish. It just cares about its food, that's all. So
That's kind of going back to what Dan and Jack said there, that if they're raised together, they must don't pick up their bad habits.
Yeah, it's a whole different. It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. You know, it's funny though. It's funny. We're gonna plan on doing. Speaking of that too, because I forgot. So we a lot of people talk to us about doing a giveaway, and so we were gonna let you guys know that too. We're gonna keep doing our shout out videos because that's a lot of fun and people seem to really dig that. And what we do is
I like doing that.
Yeah, Jack loves them too. Every 2 months or so, we get things from people. We trade stickers, we trade stuff, whatever. But we're gonna do something. We'll probably just wait till 11,000 at this point by the time we get around to it. But we're gonna do like not really a giveaway, but we're gonna do like a fundraiser, and it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But we are planning to do something. It just isn't on the back burner. But most likely the Red Cross is going to be involved.
Yeah.
With everything going on, I helped out with the Red Cross and donate a lot, and I've drawn for them and worked as, I did ICU and lines and all that, so I help them out a lot. But they're really, 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 really needing a lot of help right now, and especially from people who already had the virus. Like if you already had the virus, then you have antibodies. Especially, of course, if you're O negative. So Pamela, my girlfriend, is O negative, and so we donate a lot. I am not, but I go with her anyway. And so we're going to be doing a whole thing, like kind of like a fundraiser type of thing.
What is your blood type?
I'm A positive, actually. So we're like.
So her blood type is universal.
She's a universal donor, so she donates a lot. But so we're going to be doing a video, kind of donating blood and talking about it, and we're thinking about doing something where
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, we don't want to do too much of a spoiler, but we're gonna kind of give something away, but we're not really gonna give it away. The money's gonna go to the Red Cross, so it'll be cool.
We're gonna give it away, but it's gonna be extra money.
Yeah, you'll see.
We also were probably gonna do a drone unboxing video this weekend because we got a drone in the mail from. It wasn't from Snapton. What was it from?
Oh yeah, that company that we did a drone.
I think it was Snapchat. I think
it's kind of nice because we're having more companies because we do these reviews of like all of this, renewable stuff and everything because we're real big on the conservation too. So
we just we like to review companies that are smaller.
So people are starting to send us stuff more. That's really fun.
Yeah, we got a mini drone which I called the Bumblebee because it's black and yellow and it's like little and it can bounces around. It's a fun drone. And we got like another one I think with a camera. Where it's like kind of like the one Big Rich was playing around with, but it's
and flew into the
and flew into the
yeah.
he cut his hand with it too.
So so it is nice when you start to get to a level where some of these people say, hey, wow, you got a video with a bunch of views, or whatever, let's send you some stuff. And I know a lot of YouTubers and a lot of fish tubers do that, and that's just really, really nice. Because so if anybody's out there listening, we'll take whatever free stuff you want to send us.
We'll do a review.
So, how awesome is Ohio Fish Rescue in person?
It's really big. You're kind of
gotta go.
If you
gotta go.
Especially like if you've never seen the videos, like you can and you just go there, it's crazy. But even if you go there, it's like it's like they're big, but it's like wow.
Yeah, when you
you don't want to jump in there with them, unless it's the pond.
It's intimidating. We've gone in that pond. We've gone in that pond about 4 times.
Yeah, the first time they snuck up, and I was like,
yeah,
because they look like they're cute. They're gentle giants, especially Brutus. He's like the biggest one there. But it's funny because
Brutus is the most shy.
The catfish just sneak
he's like
up on
5
you.
feet long now. He's literally as big as Jack.
Yeah, no, he's big.
And it's weird when you're swimming next to him. I mean, he comes right up to you. We have a bunch of underwater footage of him. If you haven't ever seen if you've never seen our playlist from OFR, definitely check it out, because we have multiple videos.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's cute
underwater.
Too there.
Excuse me for 1 sec, guys. I think I got the mailman dropping a package off here. Hold on.
It's some fish. Maybe it's fish.
Yeah. Hope for fish.
So all I can say is if you.
Jack and Dan stickers the other day.
Oh, right on. Yeah, so you posted that. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you send us something, whether it's an email, whether it's stickers, whatever. And, we like to do these shout-out videos to let everybody know about other channels and stuff, especially the fish tubers. And, we put them on Jack's Wall of Fame.
Yeah, I sent you some of my
sister-in-law.
You want to do a sticker trade? I got heap of stickers here. But
he's got like a sheet of stickers.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, and Ed, we got a question: how are the plants coming along? The tanks are looking quite great, actually.
Well, thank you so much. I am always trying new plants. I love plants, and so I'm always trying to add more to the arsenal and having fun with it. And I think I'm getting a little better, because when I originally started, I killed everything. And now, I mean, sometimes a plant will disappear, but now I really need, when we're done here, I'm going to have to pull out the scissors and start trimming a lot of these things, actually. So, doing good in the plants.
Some really nice moss the other day. And his frog bit is amazing. I've got to say, the frog bit I got from him, it is gorgeous stuff.
Well,
you gotta trim vines a lot. I remember we did that with Devil's Ivy.
Yeah, we have a lot of trimming around here too.
Or I forgot
more
the other
so
one.
In the summertime.
Yeah, because and you gotta clip them off. It's like a bonsai tree kind of, but you clip it and then you just make sure like this dead stuff's not just laying around.
Yeah, Jack doesn't like the dead stuff. If he is a plant, we have plants in his tank now. If a little leaf like just happens to turn brown or like fall off, he's like, I gotta vacuum my whole room. I can't stand it. I'm like, dude, it's just a dead leaf, man. It's okay. Yeah, he's very OCD about that kind of stuff.
I am.
But we both
the type of son you want.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Always very neat and clean. Always very helpful. There's we do all these things together. All the part of the. With yard work, the housework, the tank maintenance, cleaning the car. I mean, you just do everything together. I
love riding the lawnmower. Sometimes, when I'm done, I'll turn off the blade, and it's cool at nighttime, and I'll just go and especially when the bags are not on, it goes it's super quiet. It's
yeah,
and I just like to drift and stuff.
We do a whole series of videos on because we converted our house to solar years ago, and so everything's electric now. We have an electric riding lawnmower, electric car, electric tools, everything, and we do reviews on all this stuff and kind of show people how to. And the lawnmower that we got, we actually just did a video on it. It's like an 18th month follow up. When you don't have the blades on, it's like a go-kart. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like an electric go-kart, and it's funny because I like to drift sometimes. It's like
it cruises around and it takes off. And it's
That's
fun.
awesome.
And we put like a plow on it.
No, it's fun. Yeah, it's
it.
fun. Cool, especially you gotta be careful when it's wet though because it's very slippery.
It flies, and it's really heavy, so it has good traction.
Yeah, it's like
we did a whole series of video, and I think the first video we did when we bought it has like 250,000 or
that's a big
million
one.
views or
That's a big
something.
one.
But people are very interested in those sorts of things because they YouTube them before they buy them, you know, and they want to see, hey, I want to see somebody who's had that for a year or 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yep.
So that's why we always do updates on those kind of tools and stuff, because people will just Google them and then your YouTube video will pop up. And
yeah, like if you,
amazing.
especially if you put just like lawnmower as one of the what's called like when you type it in one of those
hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag. Yeah, like if you put just lawnmower, then it'll come up. That's a good thing to do.
But the thing we found, you know what was funny about this whole thing when we started this, we didn't really know what we were doing. We just wanted to help people and give them some good ideas and all that. But the thing is people gave us a lot of advice. And the first bit of advice, what did they tell us in the beginning? They said, you got to only have one subject. You can't, you can't do diversified subjects. You got to do videos on only one thing.
They said like just do this certain thing. But it's funny because some of the biggest YouTubers out there don't just do one thing.
Yeah. So what we did is we just made the channel Jack and Dan because it's really just about us and all the stuff we do. And here's the interesting part is there's people who are plant-based and maybe they're watching our plant-based recipes or one of our workouts.
And they get drawn to the fish because they like that too.
Oh, I love your guys' fish tanks. And then they start watching the fish tank videos and then they get into that. Or
like people that like the fish will go and like, oh, look at this
they're like
pasta or something.
Yeah, or they're watching one of our workout videos and like, I got to start working out more or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the whole point is the whole crossover of all that, you know? And I would say we probably don't.
Well, the good thing is that I like doing like stuff just like kind of like a daily thing. So like we'll do like showing us like we'll put it in the same video, but it'll be 2 different subjects. So we'll like the other day we walked up the stairs. We did the stairs. Bleachers at the North Olmsted High School, Cleveland. But and then we went to a place called.
And then we went to breakfast. And
it's not Fresh Time.
About how to order.
It's not Fresh Time.
Like healthier breakfast at a place,
What was that place called?
First Watch.
First Watch, not Fresh Time. First Watch.
It's amazing how it crosses over. So, honestly, I think that a lot of times people give advice, and it's not really. It doesn't mean anything. The thing that people ask us, and we tell people why we're doing this, is we're just sharing what we do, trying to help people, doing what we like. And it wouldn't make any difference to us if we have 1 subscriber or 1 million. We're not really going to do anything any different. We're just enjoying ourselves. And it's really awesome to connect with people all over the planet. I mean, Lazarus over here,
we know people from India too.
What are you guys, 9 hours ahead of us or behind us?
Yeah.
He's actually Saturday right now.
Yeah, so you're Saturday.
Oh, I think he's 12 hours ahead of us, or 14 hours ahead of us. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
So it's hanging out Saturday morning.
Well, it's simple. What time is it right now, Laz, where you're at?
11:20 a.m.
Sunday or Saturday? Saturday, right?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Well, it's crazy. It's 7:11 for us at night, p.m.
Yeah, and I'm 4:19 here, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like we have a foreign exchange student from China. A lot of his family and friends talk to us, through this. And
he FaceTimes his friends. He FaceTimes his friends before he goes to bed because that's like opposite.
That's them waking up. Yeah.
That's like them, and it's funny because I'm like, I forget. I'm like, can I say hi to your mom or something? And he's like, oh, she's still sleeping, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot.
But I mean, and whenever we go on vacation or go anywhere, we always try to hook up with people that we met, and that's really, really fun and really awesome. And we're going to probably continue to do that. I know Ollie from Fish Team in Jamaica, we've been talking to him. We're like, dude, we want to come to Jamaica, Yeah,
we want to go there.
And he's like, I'll give you the behind the scenes tour of the island, baby. And I'm like,
the good stuff. Yeah.
We're down, man.
Very cool.
I mean, it's just really cool to meet all these people.
Well, I met these 2 yahoos on my trip. I had a blast with them. I will tell you guys though, I'm envious of you two. That's the only drawback I have is I should have. Haley with Oddball Aquatics was willing to drive with me to Ohio Fish Rescue, and I wish I would have took her up on it now. Because I ended up making it home like a full week before I needed to, so I would have had time to do it. But I already had plans with these two to go to Fowler Fish, and I didn't want to, rearrange everything for people after they were gracious enough to set up times. So.
Well, Kenny, you should have let us know. We would have been happy to go to Ohio first.
Yeah.
And then to Florida. Ohio's got just a great hotbed.
First off, let me say right off the bat, I don't think my gut could have handled another 12 hours with you another direction. Okay, as it was, I had to get checked for a hernia from all the laughter, dude.
That's awesome.
But I do want to meet you guys one day, and like I said, you guys let me know when you're going up there, Jace. Maybe I'll hop a flight to Chicago, get a rental car, and jet down to Ohio, meet you all there.
Hey, there you go.
Well, I tell you, they're real cool. Usually the way they do it is, he's there all the time now because of Tracy, so you can kind of go in the evenings. And
he might,
like that.
yeah. He'll
But
tell
they
you when if he'll be on a rescue or something. It's rare, but
Plus he's there alone, and he doesn't want a lot of people coming and going. I mean, even though Tracy's in a separate part of the house and everything, with COVID and everything going on. Of course, they don't even really know to a certain extent. I've talked to them about that, and he actually thinks that may have been what happened to them because they both got sick at the same time initially. But that's a whole long story.
Yeah, it's a long story.
I don't even think they ever checked either of them for antibodies. And I told him, I said, you probably should get checked. But he said, at this point, it doesn't really matter what we had. The point is here we are now, and we're dealing with this. And he's done a miraculous job. And I helped them a lot because Tracy was actually in one of the facilities that I used to work for.
Yeah, your friend
So
was.
they were kind of giving them the business about coming to visit and whether or not he could take her home because of COVID. And it was really they were doing a lot and moved facilities and all this.
Your friend worked there, didn't
right? And so I called them up and I said, please allow Big Rich to come in. He's a really technical guy. He's a very smart guy. I think that he will have no problem doing this. I'll train him.
Yeah.
If he needs extra help when he gets home, I'll go over there and I can help him. And I said, so let him get gowned up and masked up and let him come in. And I know the respiratory therapist there, and she trained him. And she said, fine. And he only went in for like a few hours, and they were like, he could totally do this. And I said, good, I told you. So anyway, they were able to take her home then. But because of all that going on, they try to keep it, as minimal as they can. So he's not running tours all the time like he used to be on Saturdays. He'll basically have a window of time that you can come. But it's usually, Saturday around 11 or 12.
And that pond's looking real good. It is a lot bigger than I thought it'd be. Because I only saw it like a little bit on camera. And it's like a swimming pool. Remember in Josh and I think a few other guys, they jumped in. It was like raining that day. I'm like, no.
Well, I already told them I'm definitely going to get a new camera before next summer, and we want to do some underwater footage in that outside pond too. So we'll probably do like a whole day where we go underwater on the inside pond and underwater on the outside pond, because the underwater footage is so fun. That's so fun. We just kind of free dive it, man. We just hold our breath for a minute or two, go underwater, and just take footage.
Yeah, they don't mind once they get used to you. Like they don't care at all because the catfish, like, they look intimidating, like. But, they're just doing their little cleaning on the ground.
Yeah, they might grab your toes, but they're pretty well fed.
Yeah, they just like sniff them.
Well, I spent a little bit of time with Big J Fish Keeping out here in California, and he's got some pretty good sized cats. And I jumped in his pond with them. And I mean, his smaller one, which is small ones about like this, they're pretty good sized cats. And he whacked my foot pretty good. I mean, I could just imagine at the Ohio those monsters.
No, they're like as tall as they're like as long as I
am. I mean, that to me, I would be in heaven. I would probably like slowly sink to the bottom with the camera and just kind of lay on the bottom of the pool and watch them all go over me. Now, James next to you, I already know it. James is going to be in scuba gear. You probably won't see him for 3 days. He'll be underwater for 3 days.
Yeah.
When we were down in Florida, we couldn't get the man out of the water when we were collecting. I mean, he was up to his hair in here, and he would just,
Yeah.
I'll be doing it.
Aruba, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember I cut myself on a piece of coral on my
Yeah,
ankle?
we have some of our earliest videos that we ever posted were from when we went to Aruba. We went to a separate little island called Palm Island.
Palm Island, yes.
I know right where you guys are talking. My wife and I went to Aruba twice now. Love that place.
Amazing place. That's a fun day because it's like $100 a person.
Yeah, and you can get a bunch of food because it comes with
unlimited the whole day. It's like a cafeteria.
It's funny because you don't even like pay. You just
totally
go
get
and
your
get
money
your
back just in food.
So did you guys go and see the flamingos and all that good stuff then when you were there?
Whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
man.
we saw
We've been
some
there a few
crabs and
times.
stuff.
Well, I went a couple times without Jack, and then I decided to take him. I kind of got like a bonus a couple years ago that I wasn't expecting at all, like totally out of the blue. So I went a little crazy, and then for Christmas break, which I will recommend that no one ever does that.
I can imagine, man.
Because, well, first of all, it's absolutely amazing. You have to book it about a year in advance, and there's people from all over the world.
It's funny though because you don't really see kids. It's usually like a kind of a honeymoon kind of place, or it's just
but
like
it was full of kids for Christmas. Yeah,
for Christmas.
And the flights were totally ridiculous. Like I will never pay for those flights ever again. But it was amazing, and a lot of people don't know that Aruba, they really go crazy on New Year's. Like it's the only time.
It sounds like World War II. Like it's like
it's like a World War's going on because they
shoot off fireworks in like every building.
Just for the week. What is it? Just the day before New Year's Eve, and then the day after for 3 days. Any fireworks are legal for those 3 days. And I don't know how they get all those fireworks on that little island, but people bring them over.
You can probably see it from like Venezuela.
It was crazy, and it went on from the minute the sun goes down on New Year's Eve until like the next morning, nonstop, like a war was going on.
Yeah, I had to put 2 pillows over my head because we stayed up, and it was like even the restaurants probably had fireworks. Like we walked around, and like every building had like 5 fireworks. It was like
crazy.
We really loved about over there too was they have those shipwrecks where you can go out there and snorkel out to them and go down and see all these amazing, gorgeous saltwater fish with just awesome.
And they are not shy. They are all
they'll come right up. You know.
Yeah, remember when we went scuba diving and not scuba, snorkeling?
Snorkeling, yeah.
And it was kind of the waters were kind of shafty that day, and it was like it wasn't stormy, but it was like
stormy.
It was a little like rough, but we kind of went. And I remember I cut myself on a piece of coral, and I didn't make the connection that this is salt water. And I'm like, oh no, and then but I realized I'm like, oh, there's it's salt water. There could be sharks in here. But then I also remembered like, oh, there's no sharks because it is too warm here. And
well, see, I'm part of the booty boys, so I ain't gonna I'm not gonna have to worry about cutting my feet when I go there again because I got the booties that we bought with Father Fish.
Yeah, that's all.
So.
Yeah, but I felt like an eel was gonna bite my ankle, but it's fine.
In the chat, since I last said hello, so just quickly I want to scroll through the comments to say hi to the newcomers. We got Cooper Aquatics, Collins Critter Cave, John McKenzie, Atkins Nature Aquariums, I Hate Stupid People.
Go get a drink.
Select Pack, I think I already said hello. Edward's in the chat too.
Radul says he wants James and Ed to try to high five each other on the screen.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I always get it backwards though, man.
James and I do this all the time, so we're used to any direction.
We'll do fun stuff like, here, Ed, catch a towel.
Straight up.
If we just had a couple more, it'd be like the Hollywood Squares, man.
Yeah.
We should do like a fish tube Hollywood Squares.
James and I did a trivia show with actually LRB, Haley, and Danikin was our question guy.
That's
and it was like the week of the COVID that it hit. And like YouTube was messing up nonstop. And we never once, everyone could talk at one time. Like somebody was always muted. And we would all leave and somebody else would be muted when we'd come back. So James ended up just writing it all on a board. all of his answers. That was but I agree with you. I think Hollywood Squares would be fun.
We should totally do a Hollywood Square sometime.
That would be a blast.
And right in the middle square could be Father Fish. You know, he'd be like the center square and have everybody around him. That would be so fun, man.
Yeah.
I used to pretend to be sick just so I could stay home from school and watch the game shows.
Price is Right, yeah.
Yeah, dude, Grandma was so easy to fool. She was so easy to fool.
I'm not surprised.
I'd pull like a Ferris Bueller, put the old temp on the light bulb, and I was like, "Oh, Mom, I got a fever." And then I just watched game shows all day long.
I was gonna say that's like a trick where you put on the light bulb so it heats up.
I probably did that about 7 times just in elementary school. It was amazing.
They're trying to bring some of them back, like the Family Feud with what's his name. I actually enjoyed the way he does it nowadays.
Drew Carey, man. Drew
No, it's
Carey.
not Drew Carey anymore. It's gosh darn it, what's his name?
No, Family Feud is Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey's the
Yeah, Steve Harvey.
Family Feud is Price is Right is Drew Carey.
Yeah. I always think
I'm retired, so I watch it all.
Sure, rub it in, Ed. Rub it in.
Drew Carey's from the same city that I grew up in, Parma. You remember the song "Moon Over Parma"? It used to be the song before the Drew Carey show.
Oh no, but I just know he always would go Cleveland rocks.
Yeah, he had that, but in the beginning, if you watch the first year, it's the "Moon Over Parma" song. Then he did the Michael Stanley song "Cleveland Rock." That guy, so Michael, I don't know if you ever heard of Michael Stanley. He's a kind of a local rock star. He kind of had some bigger hits, but so that's a Cleveland Rocks is one of his, and they play it all the time, like all the radio stations and all the commercials and for sports. And so he put it for the show, which was really neat. When he was on, man, people from Cleveland were really proud. Like that was really neat. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Do you still fire up your guitar once in a while?
So I play drums. I do not like guitar at all. I've always played drums.
Drums?
And I had a band for about 20 years. I played in bands.
Wow.
But I quit when Jack, right around the time he was born, because it was nuts. When I worked as a nurse, I worked nights a lot of times. So I would work Sunday night through Thursday night. And then I would go to bed on Friday morning. I would wake up and go to gigs and then play Friday night, a lot of times Saturday night. And then I would just stay on a night schedule. I did that for 15 years, just stayed on a night schedule, never, ever went to days. And then the nights we didn't have gigs, I was at other shows, and I just stayed up all night. You know what I mean? All the time. But then it's not so conducive for family life. So, you know, I kind of stopped it. Plus, it gets old, honestly. Like, it gets old. It really does. It's a lot of fun. But, like, I came from the whole hardcore straight edge scene. So I don't drink. I've never drank, you know, and never did drugs, never drank, never smoked, was always straight edge. And when you're in those clubs around, you know, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're just trying to carry your drums out and everybody's drunk and all, it just gets old, man. It really does. It really does. I'm not going to say I don't miss it, because I miss performing. And I miss the interaction of the crowd, and and the creativity of it. I mean, writing songs, and it was really fun. But I just kind of put my creativity more into the aquariums or whatever. As long as I can be creative, it doesn't matter what it is. You know, you got to have something, though, right?
Right. Got to have a vice.
Did any of you guys play instruments? Did any of you guys ever play in bands or anything?
Lead singer.
Oh yeah, what kind of band?
Heavy metal.
Like lead singer, like Rob Halford, or lead singer like
Motley Crue, Queensryche.
Oh, okay, all right, Queensryche. Yeah, dude. Now you're talking my language.
Rob Stewart.
There's a reason I'm doing Fish myself now. I mean, that tells you what a great singer I was.
He was a dead ringer for Rob Stewart.
You should hear Kenny's rendition of Britney Spears in the car.
Oh my God. Hey, what stays in the truck, or what happens in the truck stays in the truck, gentlemen.
Yeah. Look at this guy over here doing Radul plays tenor sax, oboe, clarinet, flute, percussion.
Oh, Lord.
You could tell a classy person when they say the word percussion. Somebody from a hardcore metal band would always say drums.
Yeah.
I would never say, like, sometimes, when I would on my, when I would be interviewed for like a job or something, I would say, oh, I'm a percussionist, oh, well, that's interesting, but no, I'm like, you have no idea.
Yeah, I remember in music, my teacher was like, percussion, when we had to take music, it wasn't optional. And because, from you, I always thought, percussion drums, but I didn't know what that percussion meant. So I'm like, you mean drums? He's like, well, we call it percussion. I'm like, oh, fancy.
Well, Lazarus is a musician, right?
Yeah, so what do you play, Laz?
Yeah, I play the cello.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
I think my cousin played that.
Super good.
I watch those guys sometimes. What's it called? Two cellos? They were like on...
Oh, yeah.
And they cover like AC/DC songs and stuff.
They're awesome.
Yeah, I watch them too. Mm.
Do you play that kind of cello?
Not really. I do.
Someday.
So what is what's your guys' list for the rest of the year, James and Ed? You got some major things coming up soon?
Go ahead, buddy.
Everything's been canceled. We were planning to do
true. I just saw you guys seen it. The ACA is going to meet in St. Louis. They just dropped it. There is going to be an ACA in St. Louis this year. They're saying
this year,
June.
Oh, yeah, in June next year. Yeah. Well, I'm sure I'll go. I'm originally from St. Louis, so I still have family, so I'll go to that for sure. But yeah, but for this year, everything that we were planning, I think, got canceled, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, we talked about Thanksgiving, and then I'm gonna go with my mom to North Carolina during Christmas to visit my sister, so that should be pretty fun.
So you're gonna go to the coast while you're there, then?
Yeah, she lives in Charlotte. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous coastline there.
Yeah, she's coming here for Thanksgiving. He's going there for Christmas. I'm going to Vegas.
Oh, when will you be in Vegas?
Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving / birthday, and my girlfriend and I have just been talking, and
so y'all heard it here. Vegas crash for Dan's birthday.
Yeah.
All right.
So now James and I have somewhere to go.
There you go. Well, and we stream on Thanksgiving.
So James is going to stream.
Yeah, that's our scheduled day, Thursday. So I will be there. I'm not going to hold Ed to it, but
what time's that going to be?
It's later. It's Eastern time. 10:30 is when we start. We go after KG Tropicals on Thursday.
Our governor has shut us down for Thanksgiving even now.
Yeah.
She's encouraging it. Families don't even meet because we've had another surge. So we're on a 2-week shutdown, complete shutdown again.
Yeah, my math teacher's wife had some symptoms, so he's been quarantining in his house. I think he's not allowed to share, and he should because of HIPAA and all that.
Yeah.
But I assume he got tested. He's just playing it safe to just not,
There's been a lot going on here too,
and he's pretty responsible because they didn't even ask him to do that. He just did that right when we've been Zooming inside the class with the kids on Zoom, and then we've been talking to him from the Chromebooks. It's very complicated.
I think everybody's doing pretty good. I mean, last year they were just thrown into it. This year they had the summer to plan it out, and I think it's going pretty well around here for us. I mean, some schools are closed, some are open, some are doing half day. It depends on the city, it depends on the county,
Kenny, all I'll say on the subject is with everything your state just legalized, I'm surprised people would even want to leave the house.
Yeah. I
don't pump your own gas.
I'll be truthful, dude. I'm not happy with it, but I just think it's going to open a Pandora's box that's not going to be shut now.
That's a good reference. I remember learning that.
Yeah, we already have a major problem. Major problem here. And by now, at least the police could use that as a deterrent for the people to be too crazy. Well, now that's been decriminalized, I mean, it's going to be everywhere now. I don't see how it's not going to be. If they don't have the worry of having to go to jail for shooting up in the middle of the street, then what's going to keep them from doing it? And like I said, that's a daily. I could go right now from my house. If I make a left, go up 2 miles up this road. I promise you, there'll be 15 to 20 people laying in the street, hooked on the heroin or whatever. So I'm not real pleased we passed that law.
Well, isn't your state the one that's trying to defund the cops, like the number one too?
Yep. They want to get rid of the cops. They want to make all drugs illegal. Well, not legal, but decriminalized, meaning if they get in trouble, they're just going to get put in a halfway house versus jail.
Cancel.
So,
But you still can't pump your own gas, correct?
Nope, we're not allowed to pump our gas either.
I went through states like that too, and I didn't actually. So about 5 years ago, I took a road trip, drove to Atlantic City, stayed there for 4 or 5 days. Then I drove up to New York City and Manhattan, stayed there. When I drove back to Cleveland from Manhattan, going through Jersey and going through whatever states, I don't remember, I had no idea, I wasn't paying attention. And I just pulled into a gas station and got out and started pumping my gas. And
Hey,
I'm
you
looking
can't
around.
do that.
Yeah, I'm looking around. I didn't notice the signs. It was late, and this dude started screaming at me.
It happened to me in New Jersey.
What are you doing? Yeah, and I go.
That was 20 years ago.
This was about 5 years ago. I didn't know. I didn't even know about that.
I'd never heard of it. I'm from the Midwest. I mean, we pump our own gas.
I just never heard of that.
Well, you guys saw how confused that wasn't a trip. I mean, I kept waiting for somebody to come out, and then I had to remember I had to pump my own,
Yeah.
What you're here doing, you actually kind of dig it,
You're used to
I
it.
thought you were just trying to get
man,
James
it's
to do
nice.
it.
You said, play on your phone while they're pumping your gas for you. I mean, it's a nice little deal.
Yeah.
Kenny Wood, we spent about 5 hours just sitting at gas stations because he'd pull up and just pull his phone out, and we just waited at the pump.
I know. Honestly, I think I was always running straight to the bathroom. I never even noticed.
One dirty platy said, "Who got their PS5?" It's my official question. I'm sticking with my PS4. I'm not gonna spend too much, but it's only like 2 years old. It works perfectly fine. I don't need any.
The ones that look interesting to me right now are those new virtual reality things. It looks
Oculus,
like they're coming.
yeah.
That looks interesting. But
that would break my eyes within a few minutes.
only if you could play Madden on it, though. I could see me being.
Oh, I would play you virtually and sack you, Kenny.
I would take over for Kirk Cousins, baby. I'd be on the Vikings and I'd show them how to throw that ball.
I would be Derek Thomas and sack you over and over.
Oh, please.
It'd be great.
Oh, please.
No, I'm sticking with my Xbox One. No PS5 for me.
I've got the 4 as well. I'm going to stick with the 4 too, Jack. I think it works just fine.
I got
Honestly,
Jack one of those old vintage Ataris.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
It's fun.
I can play that.
The old Pac-Man.
It has
Space Invaders.
It's got 100 or 200
It's got
games
the
on
submarine one too.
It's exactly like the old Atari, but it has the games on it already instead of the cartridges.
Oh, nice.
I think it was on sale for $99 or something. I don't know, but anyway, it's not really an old Atari. It just looks like an old Atari and it acts like an old Atari. And it's really fun. I mean, Asteroids and Galaga and everything.
Oh, wow, man. That would bring back good old memories, man.
And it's fun. And we'll take it out once in a while and play. But you
forget
forget how horrible the controllers were.
Yeah, it's not like
and your hand is sore within 10 minutes. And you're like, oh, now I see why they made all these fancy things.
Yeah, it's so weird because it's like
those curated carpet tunnel, those old ones.
I know. I'm probably gonna pay for that.
What I
When
just
I'm
did
older,
I just
hold that
like I
Atari
just did
box.
this and I was just like because it's like a car, you pull a thing.
Oh, he's got a 2600 original. Yeah, hold on to that. There's a place by us called Big Fun, and it's kind of like a vintage toy shop, and they have a couple like original mint condition. They're worth like thousands, man, to collectors and stuff. It's unbelievable what you can find in those kind of places. Toys and figurines.
I know if you have the original Black Bass series, the Black Bass for Atari, those things are worth gold right now.
It's unbelievable.
James, what kind of games do you play now?
So I absolutely love zombies, Call of Duty zombies. I don't like the Call of Duty like online multiplayer. I prefer Battlezone if I'm going to do the online multiplayer.
It's like bots.
But yeah, so on zombies, like I had a group of guys and we get on there and it's basically kill the zombies until you all die, endless levels. And we've had 26-hour games where we stayed alive just because we had a really good squad and we all had our parts to play in it. That's part of why I'm not playing a lot anymore, is because I get really big into it, So
I played Call of Duty before. I have never played zombies, but I play Crash Bandicoot. If you've ever heard of that, it's the new like better graphics version. I play Among Us, Lads. I don't know if you play that, but that's pretty fun. It's like astronauts and stuff.
And poor Laz, we haven't let him talk for a while. I was going to say we only got about 12 minutes.
Yeah, you play games, Laz?
No, I don't actually. We don't have any video games unless I got out a computer game, but yeah, I'm more into just, YouTubing and watching Netflix and Prime Video, those streaming stuff. Yeah,
honestly, it's kind of a bad habit to get into. I wasted a lot of time playing games when I was young.
Yeah, it gets, I don't know, yeah.
They have a couple of old arcades around here that guys have opened, like collectors, and one was actually pretty close to us. But during COVID, he ended up shutting down, and he's not opening back up.
Did he just?
He did. No, he shut down. It was very sad. There's another one near us in Lakewood called 18-bit or something. We've not been to that one.
Oh, yeah.
And we may go to that one. Whenever we go on vacation, we usually stop by arcades. Like when we were in Gatlinburg, they have an amazing arcade. We posted some of that stuff and some of the other places we've gone. But we're going to probably do an old school arcade again. There's another one. Things are starting to open
Dave
up.
And Buster's
we'll see what happens.
Dave and Buster's is really cool too.
Yeah, all those places are fun. Like
I like the Star Wars thing that they have, where it's like you go in a little bubble.
Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm. And it spins up and upside down, and
and it's like the whole thing, and you go in a little bubble, and it's like you play.
It's just amazing how much they are. Like I showed it. There was a bar. I used to walk to elementary school, and there was a bar on the way there. And I would literally take like $2 in quarters, and I could be there for hours after school.
Go ahead.
They had Frogger. They had Guzzler. Remember Guzzler? Dig Dug. Defender. Like, just a few.
I like Gauntlet you showed me. I don't know.
Oh,
Gauntlet.
That was one of my favorites.
When you had the big 4-player dash, that was an amazing game.
You guys remember Badlands? That was that game where you were like a cowboy in the Wild Wild West, and you had to time everything just perfect when you hit them.
I think we played that before.
I don't know.
Oh, but another thing at Dave & Buster's, remember Harpoon Lagoon? We would always win on that.
Yeah.
And there would be like, you played at least like an hour into the game, and then jellyfish would appear.
Tickets.
And then everyone's like, oh, this is not fun, but wait till it happens.
What we used to do.
And you get the thing, you get the jellyfish, and you get like a million tickets.
So I used to be off when Jack was born. Then I started working weekends, and I would be off days during the week then, because that's how they do the nurses. So when he was younger, he'd be with me on Wednesdays. Well, Wednesdays is the day that Dave & Buster's does half price. And one of my buddies, who's also a drummer, did you ever see those little, ticket games where they have like the light and it's like you try to hit the stopper? And if you could stop it on the light, you get like 1,000 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so me and this other dude were both drummers. We'd go for lunch, take Jack.
Jeff, yeah.
Yeah, firefighter Jeff. He's in some of our videos. He plays drums too. We would go take him. We'd go in right at 11 a.m. when they opened, and all these numbers would be really high from like the night before, and they hated us, dude. We would go around and just swipe, and we just stop every
But
one
we'd
of
be
them.
there'd be like 1 or 2 people there, like a birthday party.
He'd have like 20,000 tickets in an hour, and they'd be like, "Who the hell are these dudes?"
I got a banana once. Well, I mean, there's at least I think over probably 20 prizes I won there. You know, I got the remote control tank. I got the giant banana.
Yeah,
I got
it
the
was
Power Ranger
hilarious. We
banana.
would literally just go in there and have
I
fun.
got the giant bear and the gorilla. I got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I told him, I said, and he was lucky too. Like he'd spin those wheels and it'd always land on like 5,000
I loved
tickets.
Harpoon Lagoon. That was the best.
And I'm like, I'm going to take you to Vegas when you're older. You're so lucky. I can't believe it. But yeah, they hated us. They'd see me and Jeff walking in with Jack, and they're like, great, these guys are going to like get 1 million tickets. But it's easy because if you play drums, you can kind of time it, you know? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
And the little light goes around and you just tap next to it, and then you're just like, bam. And it's like ding, 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 ding every time. It was so fun. We did that for like 2 years. It was hilarious. You donated all those stuffed animals. You don't even have most of them.
I don't.
Donated a bunch of them. Donated a bunch of those when you got older. But man,
Yeah, but they were fun. Yeah, I remember I had the giant banana
there's
too.
Marco. What's up, Marco? What's up, dude?
Yeah.
I had stuff. I had the crocodile. I still had that though. I kept
Yeah,
that.
we were going to use that for an Aussie video. We planned on doing an Australian video, but we never got around to it. And I was going to be Dr. Black, and he was going to be Thirsty. And we thought of this whole like script, and we were going to do like an Australian video.
And I have an alligator. Like we were going to use that.
But we never got around to it. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it.
Ed's got a video circulating out there as him as a fish. I've seen it.
Anna is an Australian. I have an Australian one too.
Yeah, Daniel Keeping Fish did a really funny one too.
Yeah.
He did a really funny one too.
Yeah, mine's just goofy.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one I ever did was me inside of a fish tank, but many people won't ever find that because that gentleman doesn't do YouTube anymore. I did it for another guy's video.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's right. I keep hoping.
James, you can be honest. I know a video you did. I promise you, everybody will know your name forever.
Oh no, the piranha video, but no, I was thinking about the craziest one where I was in a fish tank and the water's filling it. Yeah, as a mermaid.
You mermaid.
Doing my my Aussie accent.
Les, what temperature is it in Australia right now?
He's getting ready to go into summer, I'm sure.
Yeah, it got up to 34 degrees Celsius on Thursday, but right now it's probably around 20 degrees Celsius. Oh, probably 17.
So it's like springtime for you guys.
Yeah, it's end of spring, so soon we'll be into summer, which I always love. It's fun going down to the beach.
Gonna do some collecting.
That's so cool because we're going into winter. It's like opposite.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Are you going to school, dude, or are you like homeschooling?
Oh no, I go to school.
They're going?
Yeah, year 6, so going to high school next year for the first time. That'll be really fun.
So you just go from elementary right to high school?
Oh, well, in here in Australia, where the grades work is basically you have kindergarten, and then you go to primary school, which is foundation, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6. Then you go into high school, which is year 7. Wow. That means you're 14. You turn 14 that year. That's the basic age. And then it goes year 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you can choose if you want to go to university or college.
University.
Pardon?
That's pretty much like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they do middle school here, though. So they go elementary, and then they'll go 7, 8, 9, or 7, 8.
Plus, I think in Australia, Laz, you don't have to pay for your college now.
Yeah, well, I haven't really thought about that. Yeah, I'm going.
Your parents have.
Yeah, I did audition for a really nice school this year that I got into. The cello is like a school where I'm dedicated to the cello, and will probably be my main job, as well as a side of having a fish room in the future. Those are my future plans.
Cool.
And yeah, what about you, Jack? What's your future plans? You
I want to install renewable energy things. I want to work at Apple. Stuff like I would like work in robotics, stuff like that, something like that.
Yeah. He's really
That's
interested
nice.
in working something with
What's
renewable energy.
I want to try to. I know this kind of sounds kind of like cringy, but like I want to try to like invent a new type of like like a like renewable, like you know
technology?
they do deep water where they put like those giant engines and then the water like gives the thing energy. I want to like try and do something like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know a lot of people like Elon Musk, but I mean why are you gonna go to Mars when you have a perfect planet here? Why are you gonna wear a suit? What, you know, you live in a little bubble
Yeah.
when it's just like you could be here perfectly fine.
We
Yeah,
feel a
before we
lot.
need to do this Earth and bring it back to its old
Yeah.
glory.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's
We
at
talk
now.
about that a lot.
I
We
try
talk
to do my
about that a
best
lot.
for the environment. Yeah, the environment's my main priority. It's if I see any litter on the ground, I immediately pick it up and put it in the bin. It's just horrific, and yeah, I can't stand it because yeah, if you see some of those photos of the dead animals like turtles with the plastic around the neck,
Yeah.
it really makes you think. And if you have Netflix, I have a documentary for anyone watching that you have to watch. It's called A Life on Our Planet by David Attenborough.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, we saw that. Very
Yeah,
good.
that's great. Yeah,
Have you seen
it's about,
have you seen Our Planet?
yeah, I watched a bit of it. I have to continue watching it.
Have you seen
Yeah.
there's this new documentary, it's called My Octopus Teacher, and it's like I don't know if I think the guy's South African, and he like he encounters this octopus and he like talks about like the ocean and stuff. Have you seen that?
No, what's it called?
It's called My Octopus Teacher, and he like it's like a movie slash documentary, and he talks about like ocean life and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
There's a
Yes,
lot of good
that's a
ones.
good one.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of good ones, man.
yeah, a lot.
I think that
And,
if anybody's going to do anything, I mean, a lot of us are trying at my age and our generation, but like guys your age and Jack's age, you guys gotta go into it more. There's so many kids that I know that are in between our generation in their 20s and 30s, and all they took was computers. They can't get jobs, and so they can't get jobs because there's an overflow. And I've told a lot of people, like, number one, go into healthcare. If you got to go into healthcare because there's never going to be enough of us ever.
It's funny, yeah, it's funny
number
because
two,
no one's people always get hurt no matter what. Even if everyone is everyone's healthy and everything, you're still gonna break an arm every once in a while. You're still gonna get a
never going to
cold.
be enough. But secondly, go into energy. Like, we've got to find better sources of energy. We've got to fix some of this stuff. We got to save our planet because, I mean, look at she's upset if no one's noticed.
It's funny because at any minute she can just go erase.
Chew us up and spit us out. So we've got to do a better job of taking care of the planet, which ultimately has to do with our health. That's kind of why we do all this stuff on our channel, is we're just trying to teach people, like, hey, be aware of some of this stuff, pay attention to it. And it's awesome that there's guys like Jack and guys like you, Lazarus, that's bringing in your guys' generation too, to say, hey, look, this is fun and this is creative. But if you have the ability to reach the masses, Henry Rollins said this, one of the favorite things Henry Rollins ever said that always stuck with me. He said, if you have the ability to reach the masses, have something to say, and I always took that to heart. If you're going to have a venue, or if you're going to have a soapbox or a podium or whatever you want to call it, have something to say.
If you're gonna be famous, do something. Yeah, like
do something with
like
it.
Walking Phoenix.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, but also because a lot of these kids nowadays, kids in my school, some of my friends are like this, some not. I assume you know Laz, but like some kids are like, oh, I want this fancy pair of shoes, or I want this and that. I'm like, none of that's gonna matter if there's no planet to live on.
Yeah. We have to make it a priority. That's for sure. We have to make it more of a priority. Well, hopefully people do, you know.
Yeah.
You know what?
Actually, on that note, I've got to go now. So, got a cello lesson. Yeah, I'll have to head over. I would leave you all on the stream and chat a bit more, but yeah, apparently that's not how StreamYard works. So yeah, thank you, James, thank you, Ed, Kenny, and Jack and Dan for coming onto the stream today. It was fun, chatting a bit, you know, just getting to know each other a lot more. So yeah, first time we've actually met in person, Jack and Dan. Well, not in person, but you know, through face to face. And yeah, so
I think they froze up on us there.
But they're probably looking at us.
They probably are.
That's a great phrase.
Well, as always, great to see you, Laz, and always a pleasure to see Fish Room Fever in Chattanooga.
You gents as well.
Yep. Thanks, Laz, for doing this for us.
It was a blast, buddy, and good luck with the new channel.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thanks for coming. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and I'll be back with another stream in the middle of the week. Anyone who wants to come join, just email me, and from there. Good afternoon, everyone, and I'll see you later. Let's
have a good one.
Bye.
Cool.